Hello, everyone. My name is Dread, and welcome to Mist Valley Entertainment News. We're going to take a little sports stab here, something I don't do too often on my entertainment news channel. I usually do that over on my Mist Valley Gaming channel because we do discuss some sports there. We're going to discuss it on this channel, though. For those like me who may be hockey fans, for those who may be American hockey fans or European hockey fans or hockey fans from China, Japan, Russia, the UK, wherever you may be around the world, Australia, perhaps Africa, Asia, there are hockey fans all over the place. First of all, I salute you. We here in Canada welcome you. This is our sport, but it's our sport that we share with all of you who love it. I would say it's Canada's national sport, but it's not really. That's lacrosse. I don't know why. I don't know why. But anyhow, I want to jump in on the Edmonton Oilers and Corey Perry and talk about this because as I record this, he's about 5 or 6 hours away from playing his first game as an Edmonton Oiler, and I would like to discuss this in a rational and optimistic and hopeful way. So let's jump into it. This here is a picture over here. There it is. It's a fine picture of Mr. Perry. Beautiful looking man, I do say, as a completely straight heterosexual man. I say he's beautiful. But more than that, he is an absolute beast and a warrior once he gets on the ice. He will do anything to win. And in any sport, every teammate wants someone who will do everything to win. Everybody wants that. Let's take a look at this article over here, and we'll jump into the article first. It's by the Hockey Writers. It's by Sean. I'm going to butcher your last name. Sorry, Sean. Panganaband. Panganaband. Sean Panganaband of the Hockey Writers. Let's see. Oh, it's another fine picture of Corey Perry. I never despised him as a hockey player, although there were times as an Oilers fan where I didn't appreciate him too much. But always appreciated what he brought to hockey and the way he played the game. And now that he's an Oiler, love him. So the article is called Oilers Corey Perry Marks Third Redemption Story in the McDavid Era. I want to read through this before we do any more real discussions here. The Edmonton Oilers got a little more greasy, gritty, and skilled by bringing Corey Perry into the mix. Despite being 38 years old, he is still a feisty competitor, having won at every level of hockey and has won individual hardware, capturing the Rocket Richard and Hart Trophy in 2011. And some would argue he has a shot at the Hockey Hall of Fame once his career is over. Especially if he can get to 1,000 points, I agree. And perhaps another cup win. Perry was released. There's no guarantee he's going to get either of those, but I'm just saying, if he can get there with those two things, I think that for sure he's it. Perry was released and his contract was terminated by the Chicago Blackhawks in late November. While the details surrounding the reasons for his release aren't precisely clear, it's presumed to be due to unacceptable behavior. Perry mentioned in a recent press conference he and Connor McDavid, captain of the Oilers, had a conversation before he committed to the Edmonton Oilers, meaning the captain was fully on board with bringing in Perry from the get-go, even with a previous behavior of concern that could be deemed as inappropriate. However, the Oilers have also enjoyed success in bringing in reclamation projects during McDavid's tenure with the team. With Perry, he seems to be the third such project they're hoping they could turn into a success. Below, we'll take a look at the other two players who faced challenges in the past but found success with the Oilers during McDavid's time, and we also dive into Corey Perry's fit with the team. But first, I'm going to have some wonderful, wonderful drink of the wonderful Java Juice coffee. Yum, yum. While I implore you to consider subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell for notifications, hitting that like button, and above all, drop into the comments. Love to hear from you all. I got to get sponsored by a coffee company. It's just got to happen. I'm kidding. It's not happening. So, first of all, we got Zach Kassian became an Oilers fan favorite. Former Oiler and recently retired Zach Kassian spent 7 seasons with the Oilers organization. He became a fan favorite in Oil Country due to his unique blend of physicality, scoring touch, and willingness to drop the gloves with anyone when he was in his prime. I just had a sudden thought of a picture in my mind of Zach Cassian out at center ice, facing off against a player. They drop their gloves and they're doing rock, paper, scissors. That's probably not what's going on. That's probably not what willingness to drop the gloves really means. I think it's a little bit more extreme than that. Excuse my sense of humor. Or don't. Cassian played a total of 412 games in an Oilers uniform, but before that, he was a player with a troublesome past. Originally drafted by the Buffalo Sabres in 2009, he had a tumultuous journey in the NHL, playing for the Vancouver Canucks, and had a very brief stint with the Montreal Canadiens, where I believe he didn't actually ever play a game. He had a history of inconsistent play and off-ice issues. However, his most significant setback occurred when he was involved in a car accident in 2015. He was a passenger in the vehicle involved in the accident, and the driver, initially deemed impaired, was eventually acquitted of drunk driving. Not sure what went on with that court case, but all right. I've definitely heard of it, but I don't know about why the acquittal came and all that. Cassian was intoxicated at the time of the collision and was consequently forced to enter the NHL's substance abuse program. Was he forced? Or was it just advised? I'm not sure. He might have been told to enter it or he can't play anymore, so that's kind of forcing. Marking the end of his tenure with the Canadiens, and I believe that was prior to the start of the season or even the training camp that this happened. And he had been signed in the offseason by the Canadiens, so again, I don't think he'd ever played with the Canadiens. Here we got a clip of Zach Cassian and Matthew Tkachuk dropping the mitts in the Battle of Alberta.
You thought this would happen?
We'll turn the sound off and just let you watch this wonderful little battle here. I'm sorry if you don't like fighting, but it is part of hockey. I don't like when someone doesn't fight and doesn't want to fight and somebody else tries to beat them up. I don't like that. But when two guys want to go in order to kind of stir their teams up and get the emotions going, no problem with it. All right, moving on. Edmonton acquired Cassian on December 28th, 2015, which was likely his last shot to stay in the NHL. It was a risky bet bringing in a player with a troubled past, but the Oilers needed size and someone to play with a physical edge, especially with youngsters like McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the team. And yes, we are getting to Corey Perry, don't worry. All things considered, the gamble paid off as Cassian became a pivotal player for most of his time with the Oilers, at least the first couple of years, yes, before injuries took their toll. In addition, he spent periods on the first line with McDavid. He notched 135 points and 556 penalty minutes over his 7 seasons in oil country. Cassian's standout moments include scoring crucial goals during the 2017 playoffs and his fiery clashes with then Calgary Flame Matthew Tkachuk, reigniting the Battle of Alberta. I gotta think, in my opinion though, Cassian's most standout moment was when he got to be interviewed like at Hockey Night in Canada and other programs like that, and he gave those toothy like I'm loving life grins with missing all the top teeth, and he looked like he was having such fun, even with the hard way he plays. That, to me, is the highlight of Zach Cassian's career for me. Somebody needs to put together a highlight reel of just his interviews and stuff. So, injuries got the best of him in the latter half of his career, but the decision to bring in a player with a troubled history ultimately proved to be a success for the Oilers. I will say his last contract was a bad idea. I don't like to speak bad about the Edmonton Oilers management, but his last contract was for too long, for too much money, and he basically didn't make any impact after that except for sucking up a good portion of the salary cap, unfortunately. However, can't argue with the former half of his career, that's for sure. So, we got next part. Kane has overcome challenges to make an impact with Oilers. Evander Kane is another player with a checkered past whom the Oilers brought into the fold over the last couple of years. He had a history of deviant behavior. I'd like to say, no. He had a history of allegedly deviant behavior, or he had a history of behavior that some people thought might be deviant. How about we put it that way? Including previous assault and harassment charges of which he was cleared of any criminal contact. So did he assault or harass anybody? Well, he was never found guilty of it. So what's the deviant behavior there? Additionally, he faced allegations of betting on hockey games, which were unfounded, apparently. They were just his ex-wife hating him. And he faced a lawsuit from the Cosmopolitan Hotel and Casino Las Vegas, both of which were dropped. So again, rumors of things, nothing proved. Also in October 2021, he received a 21-game suspension for allegedly producing a fake vaccine passport. We were never really told too much about that suspension, but he did get that suspension, yes. Similar to Perry's recent experience, McDavid also played a role in convincing Kane to come to Edmonton, having a prior chat with him before his signing with the Oilers, and the deal was sealed January 27th, 2022. You're getting the feeling they like to sign these players that nobody else wants in December and January. You're hitting the nail on the head. On one hand, some fans were appalled Edmonton would sign somebody with a long list of allegations. At least there it's allegations. And yes, there were a lot of upset people. Most of them are pretty damn quiet now. On the other hand, many were rejoicing that the team lucked out and were able to land a top six player to play alongside McDavid for a $2.1 million cap hit. That said, Kane made his Oilers debut on January 29th, 2022 against the Montreal Canadiens and scored in his first game. He tallied 39 points in 43 regular season games, elevated his game even further in the 2022 playoffs. McDavid was his most frequent line mate during that postseason run. Together, they combined for 26 goals. Kane led the playoffs with 13 goals in 15 games, and he ranked fourth in hits with 73, fitting in seamlessly in the orange and blue. That's the Oilers colors if you don't know. Later that summer, he was re-signed to a 4-year deal and a $20.5 million contract. I don't have any issue with that contract whatsoever right now, although his injuries since then have been a shame. Since signing his contract, he's had streaks of exceptional play, but he's had some injury setbacks. A severe wrist injury marked last season. That was when he got his wrist stepped on by a skate and basically severed everything. And nagging injuries have lingered for the last couple of months. However, despite a history of troubling allegations, choosing to bring him into the fold has proven to be a successful move, all things considered. Off the ice, he's dedicated his time to volunteer work within the Edmonton community, offering assistance to those in need, and he's a source of inspiration for children facing health challenges. He's been a model citizen. It's been great. On the ice, Kane is getting back on track, tallying 5 points in his last 6 games. Hope is that he can carry his momentum for the remainder of the season and into the postseason. Yeah. We've got Oilers hoping to score a success story hat trick with Corey Perry. Turning our focus back to Perry as the latest player with a troubled past to join the Oilers. Once again, the beautiful Corey Perry. I'm getting a man crush on this guy. As mentioned, he was released, had his contract terminated by the Blackhawks due to conduct that was deemed unacceptable, in violation of both the terms of his standard player's contract and the Blackhawks' internal policies. At this point, the details are not yet known of what exactly happened for Perry to be let go by the Blackhawks, but he admitted he sought help for his struggles with alcohol, and the Oilers did their due diligence and didn't consider it severe enough and signed him on January 22nd. I will put into this a little addendum here to this, that a lot of people have talked about this, and I believe it's true, that if it weren't the Blackhawks organization, he probably would have been spoken to, maybe sat for a game, and then have been back in the lineup and still been playing with that organization. Blackhawks, because of the past very severe scandals they've gone through as an organization, are extremely squeamish about any of this, anything that's not up and up. And I guess I don't blame them. They effed up pretty effing bad. So, yeah. I think if he'd been signed with any other organization, he'd probably still be a member. But their loss, Oilers win, I think. Perry has tallied 892 regular season points. Here's where I was saying, if he can hit 1,000 and get another Stanley Cup. But he's 38 years old. Can he do it? I don't know. It seems not real likely. But who knows? If he goes and gets 30 points over the rest of this season, and then plays another season, maybe plays another 2 seasons, plays till he's 40, and then retires, there's at least a possibility of him getting 1,000 points. He's been a thorn in the side of his current team for many years when he was playing with the Anaheim Ducks, and I believe he's an excellent addition to the Oilers. Even though his best days are behind him, he's still a skilled player with a willingness to go to the tough areas, screen goaltenders, and get under the opposition's skin, which will be very valuable come playoff time. Moreover, his 124 playoff points rank 59th all-time. He's got over 1,000 points with playoffs involved. And he mentioned recently on the Oilers Now show, quote, "When playoff time comes, the ice gets smaller, and I just want to win, and I'll do anything to help this team win," end quote. Another picture. Here's a picture of Corey Perry in Oilers colors. Very nice. Practice uniform. Perry has been an elite pest his entire career, and some would argue even slightly dirty, but that said, he is a proven winner, having won at almost every level of hockey, including the Memorial Cup in 2005, the World Juniors in 2005, the Stanley Cup in 2007, the Olympics in 2010, the World Championship in 2016, excuse me, and the World Cup of Hockey in 2016 as well. The idea of the Oilers bringing in the player who clinched the victory with a double overtime goal against them in Game 5 of the 2017 playoffs might still be met with disbelief by some Oilers fans, but Perry is the definition of a player that, quote, you love to hate him, but you love him on your team. And the hope is that he's prevailing over his alcohol struggles and can play a crucial role in the Oilers' pursuit of a Stanley Cup. So thank you to Sean and Gandaban of the Hockey Writers here for this great story. And I just want to say that again, my hope for the Oilers, I believe the ultimate goal would be Corey Perry comes in and is a good teammate, is well supported by his teammates and the organization. They've been with Zach Cassian in the past, been with someone who has struggles with alcohol. They should know how to support somebody like that. And there should be even more support stuff in place now than there was back then. And I believe most of Corey Perry's teammates, I bet you, would say awfully damn good things about him as a person and a player. I really do believe that. There might be a few who have an issue with him, but such is life. My hope for Corey Perry for the Oilers debut and stuff here just goes out and he plays well. He has a lot of fun, and hopefully he doesn't cause the Oilers to lose in his debut game because they are on a winning streak. And I know some fans will then hop on and say it was Corey Perry's fault they lost. Hopefully that doesn't happen for him. I'm rooting for him. I'm cheering for him. He's a great hockey player, and I think he's probably a great person deep down. He's just made a few mistakes in life, and he's had some demons to battle, as most of us do. Now, what I hope for is that he finishes the season with the Oilers. He does well. They get into the playoffs, and this beast of a team becomes even more beast-like in the playoffs and wins the Stanley Cup. Obviously, I'm an Oilers fan. I'm not living in Edmonton. I've never lived in Edmonton, never even lived in Alberta. So don't call me a homer. I like this Oilers organization. I have for some time. It's not my favorite organization in the league. That's actually the Pittsburgh Penguins. And no, I don't live in Pittsburgh either. So there you go. But I'm a Canadian hockey fan, and I don't necessarily have to go by geography to which team I support. My hope would be Corey Perry gets offered a reasonable contract for 2 more years after, having proved that at 38 he can still compete and that he's got the leadership and the grit. I think if they can get him at a decent price, maybe $2.5 million a year, that they offer him a 2-year contract, let him play till he's 40, give him a chance to possibly hit 1,000 points and maybe win even one more cup in the next couple of years with the Edmonton Oilers. That would be my hope for Corey Perry and the Edmonton Oilers. It would be a great thing, I think. I just want to take a look at Corey Perry's hockey database page here. Corey Perry, right winger. He was born May 16th, 1985 in Peterborough, Ontario. Won't hold Ontario being born in Ontario against you, Corey. He's 38 years old currently. So he's going to be 39 soon? Oh, gosh. I guess he's going to be 39 this year. Well, hopefully they're in the playoffs when that happens. And he is a 6'3" and 208 pounds, or if you like metric, which I don't understand metric for this stuff, but 191 centimeters, 94 kilograms. He was drafted by the Manhattan Mighty Ducks in round 1 of the 2003 NHL entry draft at number 28 overall. And as you see all of his career stats here, 1,273 games, regular season games, 421 goals, 471 assists, 892 points, 1,392 penalty minutes. Well, they just don't make him like that anymore. Wow. So his plus minus the last few years haven't been great, but if you look at his plus minus, it's actually never been superb other than maybe this 1 year in Anaheim where he was a plus 32. But really, most of the time, he's been plus, bad Anaheim team here, minus 16, bad, he had just playing a 4th line role, I believe, here in Tampa Bay when he was minus 28. It wasn't a great year. Minus 5 in Chicago over 16 games isn't terrible. It's Chicago. Look at his playoffs. Games played 196, goals 53, assists 71, points 124, and playoff penalty minutes 271. Again, Corey Perry, the man is the beast, and I think he's a good man, and I think he's a good fit for the Edmonton Oilers. I really like the thought of having him on a third line with some young guys to add that grit and that fiery intensity to their speed and youthfulness. I think that's a good fit. I like the Oilers as they're kind of currently aligned up right now with McDavid centering a line with normally a Zach Hyman as the grit guy on that line, uh, with Leon Draisaitl centering the next line, with Evander Kane as the grit guy on that line, and then having a third line with Ryan McLeod centering, or you could have Dylan Holloway centering, depending what you want, and Corey Perry as the grit guy on that line. And then, their fourth line doesn't have to be that gritty. It's just full of guys who need to saw it off. If you want a little bit of offense there, you might throw Sam Gagne in. Otherwise, you're probably looking at Ryan, what's his name? Oh, crap. Eric Ryan. There we go. With a couple other guys that I don't remember. Oh my God, Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark. Yeah, and their defense is solid. The defense is playing well, and I know I hate to mess with the defense, but I would be of the opinion, if you don't want to lose Philip Broberg, that yes, Brett Kulak should get moved to somebody, move him to somebody for a draft pick, save a little bit of salary, bring Broberg in. You've now got a little bit extra money to come, to tinker with your roster before things get shut down and you get into the playoffs, right? So your trade deadline, you might want to tinker, bring somebody in, or do something. If you don't want to do anything else, then you could just bring in maybe $1 million defenseman, a lefty to back up Philip if Casey's not that great. You get somebody with experience behind him, or you get injuries, right? And then you're set, and you give yourself a little breathing room with the team too. Maybe you can absorb some of those bonuses that might otherwise carry over into next year. So Corey Perry, I welcome him to the team. I think it's going to be a positive thing. I don't think anybody really in Edmonton or another fan is writing anything negative about him right now. They're all hoping for the best, and I join them. And Corey Perry, most of all, I salute you for your career, sir, but most of all, I salute you for recognizing you had an issue and getting some help with it, because that's really important in life, and really that's much more important than the Oilers winning a Stanley Cup or anything else. Is Corey getting things straightened out and making sure his life is at a good point. So I salute you, sir, for that. And this is what my thoughts are on Corey Perry joining the Edmonton Oilers. I hope it was kind of a rational discussion, a hopeful discussion, a positive discussion. And for Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dredd. Drop down in the comments, let me know what you think about Corey Perry joining the Oilers. Even if you're very negative on it, I'd still like to hear your opinion. And catch y'all later.